In this video I would like to answer the question, how did I learn mathematics by myself? Because basically I learned it by myself at university. I studied mechanical engineering at university, but on the side I also studied mathematics. And how did this passion generate? How did it start? Well, long story short, I developed this passion at high school because I had a professor who was very passionate while teaching, and she managed to convey this passion to me, basically. And it's quite ironic because at first I didn't really like mathematics too much. I was not fascinated. I just did my homework, but that was it. And I also remember that my first school test in mathematics didn't go well. It actually went pretty bad. The first grade that I got was a really bad grade. It was simply due to the fact that for the first test I didn't study much. I didn't study because I didn't feel like it. I was not really motivated during that period of my life, and I was very young. I was like 15 or 16, I don't remember. But yeah, at 16 I was not interested in mathematics. But after some time, after a few months and even years, I started to appreciate the beauty of mathematics thanks to this teacher. She was very passionate and she managed to get across very difficult concepts. Difficult for a high school student. Let's say difficult for someone who has never studied mathematics before. And then after I started studying this subject, I didn't just stop at the school syllabus. I went beyond that and I actually started studying by myself on the side by reading books. And I remember that I got to the last year of high school, and high school lasts for 5 years in Italy. That's the duration for Italy. And I taught myself multivariable calculus in the last year of high school, and then at the final exam, which is called Esame di Maturità. That's the Italian name. It's the final exam that you have at high school. And I remember that I solved some problems with multivariable calculus. I remember that I had to calculate some kind of volume. There was like a swimming pool. I remember that there was a swimming pool and you had to calculate something like the volume of this swimming pool, something like that. And the student was expected to calculate just one integral because we were not taught multivariable calculus at high school. But my solution was different. I calculated the solution by means of a double integral. And this was something that really surprised the teacher. She was not our teacher. When you take the final exam for high school, there are also some other teachers that are outside of your school. They come from outside. They are not teachers of your school. It is some kind of external committee. And these teachers are selected among several teachers who hold the tenure at an Italian school. They can come from any school in Italy, basically. But I remember that I did surprise this teacher. She didn't know that I could master multivariable calculus, and let me also tell you that she didn't even understand completely my solution. So she wasn't really a professional mathematician. Nothing against her, of course, but she didn't understand completely my solution. She understood that I solved the problem, but she didn't understand the way that I did solve the problem by using a double integral. Maybe in the future I will try to find out what kind of problem that was, because all the final exams are registered, so there should be some kind of record where I can find the problem statement, something like that. And then I went on studying by myself also at university. At university I had some basic calculus exams. So I had calculus 1, calculus 2, or just simple variable calculus and multivariable calculus. But I went beyond because I wanted to understand more about relativity, which was a subject that I had never studied. So I started by reading Einstein's papers, and then I did study some books on relativity, on tensors, differential geometry, and then I went on to study quantum mechanics. And then with the help of also some lectures on YouTube and on other websites, I managed to study also quantum field theory. And I did also go beyond that. So I didn't just study physics and mathematics, I also studied some engineering that I was interested in, especially signal processing, which had a lot of mathematics, interesting mathematics, like wavelets, Fourier transforms, electric motors, and also the mathematics of it, especially the mathematics of it, starting from the electromagnetic theory, and then from the theory you try to understand mathematically and also the physics behind electric motors. In the future I would like to improve my knowledge even more. It's more difficult as time goes by because when you have a family, when you have duties, when you have a job that keeps you committed for at least 8 or even 9 hours a day, well, it's quite difficult. But it's not my job, so I can just do it as a hobby. And that's basically the point. The point of this video is that I like, or maybe I should say I love mathematics, I love physics, and I love them as a hobby. I started to accept this a few years ago because at first I would have liked to become a researcher at university, and I even had the opportunity to become one. I had the chance to become a researcher in the field of signal processing and something like that. Mechanical engineering and signal processing, let's say. But I felt that it was not really my path, the path that I should choose. So I will keep improving in the future and see what the future will bring. Just give my best, and that's the point. But I will continue in the meantime, as a hobby, to carry on with my passion for these physics and mathematics subjects.